Alright guys, what is going on? Thanks for tuning back into the channel, and on today's episode we're going to be working on this 1992 Chevy C2500 6.5. So this is a two-wheel drive truck, obviously by the C. We just bought this a little while ago. It starts up like right there. I started up in 20-degree weather. I cycled the glow plugs twice, and literally starts right up. So for right now, we got to replace the door locks. I just did that one over there. It was interesting, but I learned from my first time, so now the second time should go much easier. And I also replaced the handle outside because that one was broken. And I also put a new ignition switch in right here. So now you can see it actually works with a key. Before, all you had to do, you didn't even need a key, and all you could do is just turn it right there, crank the thing right up. So you didn't need a key for any of these stuff. So now we got a lock on that side and this side. The electric locks work, but the actual lock outside the door does not work. So that's what we're gonna do. As you can see, I've already started removing the door panel. It's actually pretty easy. All you gotta do is get your trim tool here, and then just get it behind there, and you can get kind of like just pry the clips off right there. And then to get the actual door panel off, you need to remove this switch, and this also just pops off, so you just get a flathead in there, just pry it off. And I found it's easier to kind of remove the switch, and then you can pry the connector out. So before I remove the second one, as they look almost the same, I haven't had that apart on this one because this door panel is just like broken right in half, so you kind of just maneuver it in there. But on this one, the door panel is really nice. So I'm gonna mark this one. So for the locks, I'm just gonna put an L on this one, and I'll just put like a W on that one for window. So we know that this one is for locks and this one's for window, and that way I don't end up putting like the window switch in for the lock. But anyway, let's get to it, guys. So you can see I got the door panel off, and this door is a little bit different than the other one, I'll tell you that. For one, the vapor barrier here, I guess you'd call it, this is totally different than the other one. It's just plastic sheeting. This is like a kind of more like a wax paper sheeting. And this panel right here is actually different. The other one didn't have this in it. This is just a total different panel. And on this door right here, you can see right there, it's actually cracked somehow. But it doesn't flex at all, so I'm not too sure how it cracked, or the door was not hit at all. So I'm not too sure how that cracked, but whatever. You can see right here, this thing right here is just, this is classic 90s plastic at its finest. You can see it, this is like a second gen Dodge Dash right here. Like, it's just cracked. Come on, like, but I don't know if we're gonna glue it or just get a new piece, because honestly, I mean, it still works once you put the switch on. It's just like, it's not as good, you know, as it should be. So but anyway, I'm probably gonna end up just painting this real quick, just taping the switch off here and just spraying this black, because it would look a lot better inside than this gray. So I think I'm gonna paint it, and you know, I don't really have to do much to tape the switch off, or the handle off here, because I mean, obviously you can tell there. So I think I'm just gonna glue it together and just hope for the best. But let's get to painting this. I think it's satin black. Yeah, so first thing I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna 10mm in here, and then down in this hole, you gotta peel your barrier back there, and down in there, if you look, you can't tell, but if you look in there, there's another 10mm, and that just holds your door lock on, so then you'll be able to remove your handle. So let's get to it. But this is the two 10mm, got one here, and then again one in there, and when you're pulling that out, you gotta be very careful to get that one out, and you kind of got to keep your socket up, just so you don't drop this down your door panel, or else you're going to have to take that off. Or I guess you could try to fish it through there, but it's easier just to try to keep it on your socket. Or if you have a magnetic 10mm, you know, one with a magnet in it, that's the best option. So then next, we're going to remove this door latch. Just these 3 screws. The actual latch does not have to come out. Just remove these 3 screws here, and you can get your latch out, and you'll have some more play to get this out. So let's remove these 3 screws. I believe these are T30 Torx. So remove these 3 and get the latch out. Alright, so once you get your screws out and everything, you can weasel your door lock out. You're gonna have to probably pull this up, or And sometimes if you have the keys and stuff, you can move this around your lock, and that will help a lot. And try to move that arm around down in there. So if you're just replacing your lock, which is what we are doing, the other side I put a new handle in. This piece will pull right out usually. So I'm connected to the arm here, so you don't have to remove that really. All you have to really remove is we're gonna remove this clip right there, holding the arm on, and then we'll remove the clip on the lock and get to that then. So let me remove this clip here. Just takes really a flathead screwdriver and some finessing, and you can get that clip right off. Talking about, if I wasn't clear enough last time, is this arm right here, which is the one that the lever that you pull. This one can stay attached because that one, as you can see, just sits down in there, and that just pushes it down and it's spring loaded. And then this one, there's your lock. This arm, the one on the lock, has to be removed with this clip. All you do is kind of pry up on it, you can pull it out, and then to put it back in, you just got to push that tab back down, bend it down. So now that we got our lock out, what you're gonna have to do is you take a flathead screwdriver and just get this little foam pad off, and then you can get in there and just press that tab down and pull the lock out. Before I do that, I like to remove the little arm here first. I just think it's much easier to do, and then you don't have to sit there try to fiddle it on the lock. Just holding that small piece, and it's easier to do it while it's one complete unit. Once you remove that little clip there, you can pull this piece off. This one's a little bit rusted, but pull that piece off, and then you have your arm off there. Set that aside, and then what you want to do again is you want to remove this foam pad, and there'll be a little tab in there. So I'll show you that. So there you go. You can see there's a little hole in there, and a little down there. There's like a spring-loaded tab. You just take like a pick or a screwdriver, and you press that down, and you should be able to remove your lock then. So I'm gonna press it down there. I'll get the lock out. When you get your new lock, this is our brand new lock here. When you get your lock, all you got to do is literally just push it in, and then it locks into place, and she ain't going nowhere. So that will fix your issue there with the lock, and now all we got to do is put it back together. So first thing you want to start with is your tab, and it can only really go on one way. If you try to put it on, say, the other way, flip it around, it hits the lock, so it can't go all the way down. As you can see right there, it hits, so you can only put it on one way. But just dropped it off the side of the bed, so I gotta go pick that up. So I got the clip back on and everything, and you want to make sure you have your tab bent down so the clip doesn't fall out. So she's on there nice. So now we can wiggle it back into the door, and I found that it really helps to use your key on this, and then you can kind of wiggle the lock around. So get the key and make sure it works first, so then we can we don't put it in there and it doesn't work. So let's get it to it. Your lock in. Now this is kind of obvious, but I'm sure some people miss this step. Is you want to put your rod for the door latch actually in its correct spot. You just don't want to stick it in there and just hope it gets in there. You want to make sure it's in its correct spot, or you'll be tearing this whole thing apart again because your door won't open, and then you'll have to climb into the driver's door and open this door up. So you want to make sure you get that in the right spot, and then from there you just want to kind of get your other arm on there and get that onto the clip as well. So I'm going to get that clip on, and then we're going to wiggle this door handle in there. Play with it. I find it easier to get the first part in, the top part in, and then get that past the window track, and then you kind of slide the lock part in there. So I have to get that part in. Then you can tighten up your latch, and you want to leave this loose because it helps a lot with trying to get that in there. So you can maneuver it a bit easier. So tighten our latch back up here. I only put like 2 screws in, just these 2, just to make sure it works first before we tighten everything back up. So put these screws in, and then we'll throw a screw in here and see if it works. Alright guys, so I closed the door and I opened this thing, and absolutely nothing was happening. So I thought I did what I said not to do, and to make sure I get that arm in the right spot. And then I remembered that I was messing with the locks, and I might have locked the door from the inside. So good thing that side was open. So I just came in here and I realized that the electric locks was undone. So the switch wasn't there, so I just pushed the thing up, and now it works. But the door is obviously locked, so let's unlock it here. You get live action on camera, and obviously you guys know I didn't bolt this completely in, and look at that, she works. Things I like to do is, like, when you're putting your bolt in, so you don't want your bolt obviously falling to the bottom if it falls out of your socket. And one of the things that I like to do is just put some grease on there. You can see, just lube up that head real good with some grease, and then she doesn't fall out. So that way you reduce your chances of your bolt falling in the bottom of the door. But it's not a guaranteed. If you hit something going in, it could fall out. So let's try to get this thing in here. You want to get your bolt in there just by hand. Just put it on an extension and just reach in there and put it in by hand. Don't use your impact or a ratchet or anything like that. Just put them in by hand. It's a lot easier to get it aligned instead of having to try to hold your impact, and then tighten them up. I tighten them all the time with a ratchet, because if you do use an impact, this is only aluminum. As you guys know, a lot of these are prone to break. So what we do is just tighten it by hand. This one I already tightened, so I'm going to go in there and tighten them by hand, so that way you don't strip it out or crack the aluminum. Then you have the issue of your vapor barrier here, because you folded it down to get in there. So then what I like to do is just use some 3M Super 77, any spray adhesive really, and just spray it this paper here and just put it back up. Honestly, you probably don't even need to glue it on. You could also just use like super glue or whatever. You don't really need to glue it on, because it'll just hold up like that. But if you do glue it, it will give it a better seal. And if you don't have any glue or whatever, you could just put it up without it, or you could just use some like duct tape or something and just tape it on. And then because you don't see it anyway, so your door panel goes over. But I'm just going to do spray adhesive, so it looks the best, works the best, I think. So let's get it glued on. Door panel back on here, and now we got to try to get all our clips back in and pop those back in, see if we can get it done. So let's put our door panel back on here, and then project will be done. Before you put your door panel back on, you want to make sure you get all these clips out of the door and put these back in the panel, which is what this trim removal tool really shines. Right, so after you get all your clips on for the door panel, it wouldn't hurt to get new ones, but the old ones will work. You might break some of them though, just because, you know, the truck is 92, and you know, yours could be even older, could be like an 89 or something. So you know, plastic gets brittle over time, so wouldn't be a bad idea to get new. And I didn't, but the door panel seems to be holding on fine there. So then, after you get your door panel on, don't be afraid to hit it pretty hard to get those clips to pop in. You want to put your switches in, and then your panel, and you're probably gonna have to slam this kind of hard to get it back on. Not like super hard, but you're gonna have to give it a good smack to get those pins to pop in there. After, we'll show you the locks work. So we can close our door now, and you know, it's obviously locked, so we can unlock it, and works fine. And then we can lock it, pull the key out, it's locked again. So our door locks is working good, and so everything is working for us. So that's going to be the end of this video, and that is how you replace your door locks on a OBS Chevy. I believe years 89 to 95. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, and that's why I'm making this video based on 95 to 99 or whatever, because it is not even the same mechanism for it. So that's why I'm making this video, and that is how to do your door locks on a OBS Chevy.